All right, guys, we are here today. Good morning. It is Tuesday morning. We got the JOLTS job report coming out. We got a bunch of big earnings that are honestly dropping right now, too. Market's behaving a little crazy, but it's probably because earnings came out this morning. We also have some earnings this evening as well. Oh, wait, do we have earnings this evening? Let me see. I think we have Google. So today, guys, already this morning, we've had Spotify, Pepsi, Pfizer, Ferrari, Merck, Estee Lauder, and more drop. So Spotify missed EPS, beat revenue. They posted, let's find it. I see Ferrari, Merck. Yeah, so Spotify posted Q4 EPS of 176. They expected 199. Revenue of 4.2 billion. They expected 4.19 billion. So they beat revenue, missed EPS. That's what it is. They missed EPS, beat revenue. They had Q4 monthly active users at 675. They expected 662, so a little bit higher than expected. Q4 monthly active users. They see Q1 guidance for monthly active users at 678. They expected 679.4, basically 680. So a little bit lower than expected. Q1 guidance for monthly for Spotify. We'll put all those numbers up in chat. We also have, and again, I'm guessing Spotify's not really reacting positively to this. It is, which is strange. You know, bad guidance, big missed EPS, but still gapping up on this for some reason for Spotify, up to $600 a share. We also had Ferrari post 1.74 billion earnings EPS. For revenue, 1.66 expected. EBITDA 643, they expected 621. Net profit of 386 million, they expected 333. So better than expected everywhere for Ferrari, which is RACE symbol. Gapping up too. We also had Marathon Petroleum show 77 cents. They expected only 2 cents. Revenue of 33.5, they expected 31. So Marathon Petroleum coming in much better than expected. We also have Pfizer post 63 cents. They expected 46, so better than expected there too. Here's Pfizer. And I'm guessing this is the reason markets are going up. PayPal posted 119 versus 112. Better than expected. Revenue of 8.37 versus 8.26, so better than expected everywhere there. Hey, what's up, Faye? Good morning. Falcon. Sharp. Beach Bum. Good morning, guys. Steve. Demetrius, Dragos, Ed, Jude, Harris, Star, Lightning, Eli, Keegan. What's up, guys? That song was a little bit too much. I don't even know what that song was, guys. I gotta change it. It was a little bit off. Yeah, I should have covered Jolts. Carol didn't feel good yesterday, man, so I just had to skip it. She's just not feeling that good. I know I should have covered it. Palantir earnings yesterday. Huge gap up for Palantir. Palantir is now over $100 a share. What's up, John? Just a question. Oliver, Velo. You think a U.S. JOLTS report will dump the market today? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. It depends. Let me look up to see what news tanked the market yesterday. I mean, it could have been earnings. It was yesterday afternoon, or was it early this morning? State Street reports a 70% passive stake in ADM as of December 31st. All right, let's do a poll. It was last night at like 11 Central. Oh, it was the tariff announcement for China. Are you bullish or bearish on today's JOLTS job opening report? Vote on the poll. Yeah, let me pull Discord up early today, Paul. My bad, dude. That makes sense, though. You know, because yesterday, Canada and Mexico both announced retaliatory, levies and tariffs on U.S. goods. China didn't really announce anything, though, so it made sense that they're going to come out with some retaliatory tariffs as well. So, yeah. Yeah, good outlook for Palantir. Yeah, so we'll cover so China did announce tariffs. It's one of the big stories that influenced the market. It's probably what caused, if we look at like the QQQ here, we opened up the day red on the Q. Look at Nvidia dip. So this is probably the tariff news. This was late last night. This was at like 11 o'clock Central, like Faye said. So Faye's actually correct. Hello. Yeah, give me a second. Yeah. Retaliatory tariffs by China. Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to log in. I don't know if my OpenAI ChatGPT subscription's not working anymore. No, hold on. Make sure. Okay. Bear with me, guys. No, hold on. Alright. Took me a long time to hack into freaking ChatGPT. Alright. Alright. We're in there. Alright, guys. Let me pull Discord up. Yeah, so China hit back on tariffs good. They, late last night, announced tariffs on U.S. imports in a big, quick response to U.S. duties on Chinese goods, renewing the trade war between the top two economies. Even as the new presidential administration offered reprieves to Mexico and Canada, the country's finance minister spoke and announced the package on tariffs on a range of U.S. products in an immediate response to a 10% tariff across Chinese imports from the U.S. that came into effect at 12:01 this morning. The U.S. imposed the additional tariffs after the president reportedly warned Beijing it was not doing enough to halt the flow in imports of illegal drugs into the U.S. Within minutes, the finance minister said it would impose levies for 15% on U.S. coal and LNG and 10% for crude, farm equipment, and some auto manufacturers. The new tariffs on U.S. exports will start on February 10th, the ministry said. China also said it was starting an anti-monopoly investigation into a couple companies as well. So basically, we might have awoken a dragon here. That might not be a good idea. We'll see what happens. What do you guys think? Do you think these tariffs are good? This is an easy question to ask. Are you for or pro, or are you pro or against these tariffs? Let me know what you guys think. Yeah, see, now I'm here. This is okay. So now I have my good one, the fastest one. Okay. Smoke screen. I'm not really stuffy. I'm okay. I always sound like this. I have like a raspy voice. My voice is different. Like, hey, when I was young, people used to always tell me like my voice was identifiable. I don't know what that means. But I remember I'd like call people on the phone. Like maybe I'd call like a girl on the phone and they would immediately recognize my voice. I don't know if they're telling me my voice is deep or raspy or high pitched. I'm not sure which one. Let me know which one in chat actually, because I really don't know what they always meant by that. I have a feeling that the market won't crash from any news like we had from DeepSeek or the tariffs. In the end, it's simple. Nah, I don't know. Tariff thing is terrible because it would pay for the company's difference. Poke the bears, yeah. Somebody's gonna call us bluff, maybe. It's good for the economy. The relationship between the two countries is good, but if we have a bad relationship with them, I won't be nice either, long and short term. Canadians booing the national anthem. Yeah, but to be honest, Canada needs us more than we need them in a lot of ways. No offense to Canada, you know. I'm not saying I'm for or against the tariffs too. Honestly, I remember the last administration in 2016 from him where he did the same thing and there was a lot of volatility in the market. I remember it. I remember this volatility. My wife always knows I'm listening to you. You're not buying a sports car. Hopefully I'm doing enough to discourage that too. Like, I would say I'm more outspoken about telling people not to buy brand new sports cars, especially if they have like a couple $100,000 or $1 million. Do not buy a freaking sports car, you know. Now, at the same time, it's kind of like listen to what I say, not what I do, because I also kind of window shop McLarens and stuff like that. But I feel like I'm a good balance here, a good balance. You know, like I'm trying over here. I'm trying to tell you guys the truth, like the right things. All right, we're at 598 on the SPY. So the SPY dipped all the way down to what, like 590? Yeah, let's see. Hit 590s. Hit 590s. Yeah, so it dipped all the way back to 590. We're back up to almost 600 now, which is good. It's a good thing. Tariffs will lead to a tit for tat situation. 100% it will. Yeah. Trade war is basically what it'll bring it to. It's at 10 a.m. Yeah, it really is a scary start, Faye, honestly, with all this stuff going on. Yeah, AMD and Google earnings today. What do you think the figures released will be? I have no idea. All right, Microsoft up some. Hey, baby. How you doing, man? All right, guys. Yeah, I mean, 590 was a good bounce call, man. 590, you know, look, 590 is good because I talked about this. One of the most common movement patterns in markets is very simple to catch, right? Hey, I'm not trying to discredit you at all. Like, it's still a good call. But, like, okay, we drop down after a huge red drop morning, right? Like, if the market drops big because of a catalyst, the next day at the opening bell, usually we're going to get a rebound back up. And that's precisely about 50%. Maybe more, maybe less. But that's a very common movement pattern. It's one of the reasons, like, I get myself into trouble sometimes because the market will gap down big. And instead of attacking the opposite direction, I look for continuations. And I think there's a very common thing that people get stuck in. You learn over time, though, that balance is there. So we gap down big. The higher probability is that we're going to go up a little bit at the open from the opposite profit taking and you know, stuff like that, from all that stuff. And so that's something that I look for now. Like, if we drop big one day, I'm looking for a small bounce the other day. The only exception is if we have extenuating circumstances where, like, something's going on macroeconomics wise where it's causing big volatility, like the carry trade or something like that. That's a situation where we might continue, but usually we have some bad news. Balance is real, and we kind of bounce back. A good example is looking at anything that was affected. Like, look at the Q here. You know, big drop from China tariff news. Basically, we rebound within a few hours. You know, this is very common. People are bearish here when they should be bullish most of the time, right? And you can kind of see it with, like, Tesla, Nvidia, Palantir. Like, Nvidia drops big on the tariff news, rebounds for the rest of the day. Palantir drops on the drops for whatever reason, rebounds on the rest of the day. So balance is real and extension is real, and so it's something that you just want to pay attention to. But it's a good call nonetheless. What's up with yesterday's crypto crash? It's just the tariff news weighing on crypto markets. Bitcoin all the way back up to over 100K now, or right around 100K at least. Hmm. All right, guys. So Bitcoin. Let's see where Bitcoin does. What's the best penny stock strategy? I would say the best penny stock strategy is probably like right when you're about to click buy, to really think about it and walk away. That's probably the best. I wasn't biased either way outcome, just very wary of the outcome of those unscheduled phone calls that turned out to be very important. Yeah. Anyone Bitcoin under 100K? My issue is the big push up and trying to short the top, yet it keeps going. Yeah, I mean, you know, I think Dolby on Topstep TV always talks about this nuance, and it's absolutely true, right? What he talks about is like he typically only goes long on the NASDAQ. He almost never goes short, because the biggest statistical edge is up, not down. And I know like short traders are romanticized, and I get it. Like, listen, if you're shorting penny stocks, it's the opposite, right? Like if you're attacking penny stocks, the bigger statistical edge is on the downside. Like most of those things are crap. Like, you know, but it's ironic because I think people get misled in both directions. I think people get misled into buying penny stocks like they're somehow good investments, like they're good long-term companies that are just beaten down, and then they get talked into like being overly short on indices when the biggest statistical edge is on the upside, and it's absolutely true. And so just be smart, guys. Understand, like, look, especially if you're holding something for multiple days, weeks, months, trying to pick the tops and shorting that is a silly, like, sucker's bet most of the time. I'm not saying some people can't do it successfully, but the percentage of people that do is very, very light. Very, very light, you know. Why everyone says don't trade penny stocks? Because it's mostly a sucker's game too. Like, bro, listen, if you've ever tried to trade penny stocks, like actual like low float, like stocks under $5, if you've ever tried to trade that industry, the problem is like this, right? You could have the best A+ pattern in the world, bro. You can have just the best, you know, A+ pattern in the world, like, you know, and all this stuff, and right when you buy it, instead of doing this, it will just do this. You know, it'll get halted, manipulated, T1, T2 volatility halts, like all kind of craziness will happen. You'll have random reverse split announcements. Like, it's just a chaotic, like, highly manipulated market. The problem with it is that you can manipulate those stocks, and so big money wins, small money loses. And they basically can make something look really enticing for retail traders who don't know any better, and just do a massive liquidity grab from those traders' losses and money, right? So they can make it look great, make the pattern look great. They're all interested in buying it, and then they just unload the dump on them, or the rip, depending on if they trap them long or short. You got gurus that front load into those things and then call it out later to manipulate the price. You've got, like, the industry is just sketchy, and it's propped up by people that are marketing courses. Like, they're selling courses on penny stocks. They're selling courses. They don't really understand that, like, most people are just making money selling courses on penny stocks, and it's just a really sketchy industry, in all honesty. Yeah, no, I used to trade them. This is how I know, man. I never sold a course on them. I never sold a service on them. I never claimed to even be some expert or anything like that. But I know this because I experienced it, you know. I mean, when is big money wins, small money loses not the case? Well, it's typically, big money's always going to have an edge. But the example that I always use is like, okay, if I buy a company that's got 500,000 shares out there, and I buy 50,000 shares of that company, I buy 10% of that company's float. I'm moving that company. If I buy, that company's going up. If I sell, that company's going down, right? Now, if I buy a company like Apple or Amazon that's got billions and billions of shares, I could buy 50,000 shares. Apple ain't going to move that much. It's not really going to move that much. I mean, it might move some, but it's certainly not going to be the big game-changing movement like that I want. I'm not going to be able to manipulate Apple or Amazon or anything in the same way and anywhere close to the same way. And that's the difference, is that big money targets penny stocks and retail traders to get liquidity from in their manipulations. And it's a gray area. It's not necessarily illegal. It's sketchy for sure, and I don't ever do it, but it's a gray area. And so that's the overarching point, is that there's a difference. There's a difference between trying to manipulate Apple or Amazon that has billions of shares, where I could buy 100,000 shares and it's probably not going to move it that much, versus buying 10 to 20% of a float of a stock that is absolutely going to move that stock. That's the difference, is that it's not about whether it's that, I guess the point I'm trying to make is that big money has a much bigger statistical edge in manipulation with penny stocks and low float stocks. Meta's ripping up right now. Meta's ripping up. And that's very clear. Like, you can look at the fundamentals of companies and see why that would be the case. And that's why sketchiness like targets it. Yeah, and always remember, guys, I have no freaking idea what I'm talking about. I might be wildly wrong about anything and everything I say. Don't sue me. Not an investment professional. Not liable if you lose. Understand CFTC 4.41. Hypothetical or simulated performance have limitations, guys. Do not copy me. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Jolts isn't out yet. It comes out later on this morning. I'll put this up on screen. Jolts is expected at and again, the problem, I talked about it yesterday. The problem is that people feed this nonsense about getting rich quick in penny stocks more than any other niche of trading. In penny stocks, they're like, oh, you can take a small $2,000 account and turn it into $300K. You just got to buy my course, bro. And it's nonsense. Like it's publicly available content. And, you know, of course, people selling those courses, they don't like me, which they wouldn't, you know, but it's absolutely true. Absolutely true. And you just got to be careful, because this absolutely happens. They're just manipulating people. Jolts is expected at 8 million. It comes out at 10 a.m., guys. 10 a.m. Look at Meta rip up. Meta's up. Again, the big story of the day is Palantir as well. Palantir, good earnings, good guidance. Flying up right now. Gapping up from like 83.70s all the way to $101, $102 a share. It's at 10. Yeah, we got Google earnings, AMD earnings this evening. We're to stream. Big money can get collateralized debt next to huge shares. I know, and listen, Nick, I am not saying, like, listen, you're preaching to the choir, brother. Like, I am not saying there's not manipulation everywhere. Okay, that's not what I'm saying, right? Of course, there's manipulation in every niche of finance. That's just how it goes. Big money always likes to control things. That's normal, right? That's the nature of things. That's the life we live in stocks and finance. But what I'm saying is that the barrier of entry to that manipulation is much, 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 much lower in low flow penny stocks. You know, Like you can do more for less in terms of all that stuff in low float penny stocks, and that is why it's a losing game. And so yeah. Anyone else here looking for compound growth? I think that's everybody's. I'm looking for compound interest, compound growth. Of course I am. I'm dollar cost averaging long term, and yeah. All right, guys. All right, guys. Yeah, there's big money control stocks to a degree. Oh, 100%. I mean, that's normal. That's kind of how it goes. It's hard making money. Stock market is not different. Yeah, for sure. I could see Palantir dropping at open too. I could as well, but you never know how far the run is going to go, right? And just as I talked about earlier, in general balance, Palantir's up a lot. Palantir's up a lot. And so just in general balance, I do think it makes logical sense for Palantir to dip down from profit taking mostly or shorter term trades. Like shorter term trades are going to want to take profit and stuff like that. And I think that's normal. It doesn't mean anything super weak by Palantir or anything like that. But I could see drops at the open for Palantir as well, or prior to it or afterwards sometime today. But that's not a weakness call on Palantir by any means, you know. I don't know if I'm bullish or bearish today, Fabio. We got too much stuff going on. We got Jolts. We got AMD, Google earnings. And so I think the fundamental news is bearish, but I think we got a lot of catalysts yet to come out today. We got AMD, Google earnings, Jolts job report, Fed speakers. And so we got a lot of catalysts that are yet to come out. And so I'm not sure. I'm just going to wait. All right, guys. Yeah, the only problem, the limit on a Roth is 7K. It's not very much, you know. So like, I know they say it's for high net worth individuals, and it does have some tax saving strategies. And I'm not a tax professional. Ask your CPA. But the big issue is that a $7,000 a year limit is pretty small. It's not really it'll grow just like anything. You put 3-4 years of that where you got 30K in there, 28K. That'll grow, but tax free, but it's just not as good. Obviously, it's just, yeah, I'll put the timer up once PayPal earnings are already out. So PayPal ended up showing. I'll put these numbers up in chat, but PayPal is already out with their numbers. Their numbers are right here. Yeah, it's because like what happens, Justin, is that people look at them like celebrities. Like you got a certain type of person. Like I've known a couple people like this where they just want to follow somebody, right? They just want to follow somebody, and it's kind of like one of those situations where the followers are so desperate to believe something is true, right? Like they're so desperate to believe something is true that you could have as many red flags around as are possible, right? You could have so many red flags, and they are not gonna look at them objectively. Right, and they testify on their behalf, and like that's what it is. And it's also, like I said, it's a legal gray area, right? Like pumping up penny stocks and profiting from it is a legal gray area, right? Like it's kind of against the rules, but if you have a really good lawyer, they could probably get you out of it, And that's kind of the history that we've seen with stuff like that. Unfortunately, that's kind of how it goes. Because like again, what a lot of these penny stock gurus will do is they will front load into a super low float manipulatable penny stock. I'm just gonna call it ABC. And so they buy 50,000 shares of ABC, and then they've got this huge following everywhere. And they say, "Hey guys, I just bought ABC stock. It's great. I think it's gonna go up." And then the mountain of followers just ends up buying it up, and say ABC stock goes from $3 a share up to $7. Over 100%. Then said guru unloads his entire position off of that liquidity from the pump. And then the consequence is that ABC penny stock goes like this. It has the big run up, and then the guru unloads and it goes like this. And then when the guru announces that they sold, which is usually much later after they fully exited, then it goes like this, And then everybody's sitting here and then half of the people that ended up following him in the trade might make money. The other half are going to lose money depending on who's quicker. And that's the nature of it. And then a lot of the time, if the guru is really, really sleazy, which there's a lot of these guys out there, if the guru is really sleazy, they'll then snapshot what they made from it. They'll be like, "Look, guys, I made 50K from this trade. Buy my day trading penny stock course," And it's like, did you make that day trading penny stocks from the strategy, or did you make it from pumping it up with your following? And then they even piggyback off of that, and they're like, "Hey, buy my course on day trading penny stocks." And it's like nobody at home is going to be able to do that. Like nobody is going to be able to do that at home. The only reason they're able to do it is because they've got a huge following them in trades. Somebody that's really making money, again, I'll go back to the quote yesterday. Riches yell, wealth whispers, right? Somebody that's really making money like that, they're not going to want you to know their trades. They're not going to want to show you their trades. It's too proprietary for them, They're not going to want to give you that information. The unemployment rate in the U.S. Yeah, so the unemployment rate in the U.S. is expected at, I'm showing, it could vary depending on the analyst. I am showing 4.1% is what I'm showing. I'm also showing non-farm payrolls are expected at 169. Remember, last time they showed up way higher than expected at 256. What's the backdoor method of depositing more into a Roth IRA? So the backdoor method is depositing into a conventional IRA and then converting it to a Roth is the backdoor method. But again, ask your CPA. This is just from my memory. That's what it is. It's depositing it into a conventional or IRA that have less stringent limits, and then converting that to a Roth. Uh, 4.1% is technically break even in my mind for unemployment, because that's the overwhelming expectation of it, is that. So it's just what's expected. Well, there's always big money moves, Peter, for sure. Like big money's always going to try to control things, and that's the nature of this game. That's understandable, and I can't even knock them for it necessarily. If I had a lot of money like that, I'd probably be trying to control things too. Because what's the big edge of having lots of money is that you can control things. And so I can't knock them too much for it. All I can really do is show you guys how they do it, and so you could avoid getting taken advantage of. You know. The SPY dropped today because China announced retaliatory tariffs on U.S. goods, 15% on oil, and some other stuff. Yeah, all good, Jeff. All right, guys, we are going to trade today too, guys, so be ready. We are going to trade. Let's get ready. We made a lot yesterday too, man. We did make a lot yesterday. Also, the EU said tariffs, but you know what that means by now. Yeah. So here's oil. Again, mostly dropping on the tariff news. Somebody saying, shouldn't oil go higher? Not necessarily. It means less people are going to buy it. And so. We also had Palantir earnings yesterday, which Palantir flew on good guidance numbers. Alright, guys. LiAngelo Ball is now a rapper, guys. I can't really knock him for it, right? Like, you got all these famous brothers. You know, he's plagued by injuries, is why he didn't make it to the NBA. Some would say he wasn't good enough, but, you know. And so you might as well use the fame of your family. Try to make some money. I can't knock it. I can't get mad at it. I get it. Inflation coming to prices. Yeah, I mean, inflation might be coming, but we'll see. Yeah, so we had Merck's soft guidance overshadows quarterly beat to send stock down 6%. So Merck had bad guidance numbers in their earnings. Estee Lauder is going to cut up to 7,000 jobs as it swings to a loss, sending the stock lower. Palantir is up big again on good earnings reactions, good guidance. Specifically, if we put up Palantir here, you can kind of see how crazy of a chart Palantir is. I remember when this one was $20, which is kind of crazy. This thing's up huge. We did a poll. Are you bullish or bearish on today's JOLTS report? 72% are bullish, 28% are bearish. What do you mean if you copy me, you might lose? I would say if you copy me, you're going to lose. Don't do it. What I mean is don't do it. That's what I'm saying. I have no freaking idea what I'm talking about. If you copy me, you might lose. Don't do it. Yeah, AMD Google earnings today. We're going to stream them. The elephant in the room, will Nvidia lead the market or break it? I'm not sure yet, guys. I sold puts on Palantir. Yeah, that's pretty probably. All right, guys, we got the JOLTS job opening report today. That's probably the biggest report we got this morning. We got AMD and Google earnings this evening. Lag? Is anybody lagging? I'm not lagging. Are you lagging? All right, chat. All right, chat. SPY coming back up a little bit. I don't know whether to long or short right now. I really don't. I know a lot of tech stocks are extended. Bitcoin's right at 100K. Tesla at 386s. Meta at 703s. Microsoft at 411s. So. Yeah, we're gonna get ready to day trade like we always do here. We had a good day yesterday. I'm getting used to trading regular mini contracts. Let's see if we can do it again. Alright. Here's the micro NASDAQ. We got our levels on. See, we're still in that range here, bro. Right between some major levels here. And my levels still seem to be holding decent enough. I did a couple times, thought it was my phone. Really? Okay, we're back. Sorry, guys. What's your general outlook? I unloaded a lot of my investments as of now. I'm kind of waiting for this trade thing to end and see what happens. I don't. Again, my plan always is the DCA long term. But I'm not interested in buying up a lot of stuff right now. I need deeper corrections before I'm interested in that. And so I'm just waiting, to be honest. Okay, what's up, Mel? Thanks for letting me know. We're on a 1 minute and 5 minute. We use a little bit of both, to be honest. We just kind of play off of levels here. Are we lagging again right now, chat? Let me know. It doesn't say we're lagging. Weird. Strange. It doesn't say we're lagging. I don't know why. No? Alright, cool. Intel plays. I don't know. Do y'all think Intel is a good buy? I think it could be. I don't know if it is, but I think long term it's probably okay, but I think there's also some risks too. Not now. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, 8 million is what's expected for the JOLTS report. Is grade still really cheap? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, long term, it's probably fine, but who knows, man? Again, I might be wildly wrong. Don't copy me. It's one of those ones that's down so much, and so I'm worried about, like, general weakness into the future. You know, their processors are good, but AMD is getting more popular as well. It's a tough one to speculate on, to be honest. I'm not sure. Like, if we get overarching weakness in chips, it could negatively affect it. You know, so again, the EU, the European Union, wants to engage with the U.S. over the planned tariffs. Trade chief Maros Sefcovic said he wanted an early engagement and was waiting for confirmation from them. For Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, he said, quote, "We are ready to engage immediately, and we hope that through this early engagement we can avoid the measures which would bring a lot of disturbance to the most important trade and investment relationship on this planet," end quote. EU officials says that contact the current administration have been limited so far, noting that his picks for jobs are not able to speak to foreign counterparts until their positions have been confirmed. Yeah, so technically the Q's green, Meta's green, Palantir's definitely green today. So most tech stocks are pretty up. I'm not going to be too specific, AJD. Two of them are green, one of them's red. You know, so two of them are net green, one of them is red. So, again, I'm not even claiming to be a good day trader. I don't sell a course, sell a service, claim to be good. In fact, I pretty proactively tell people I'm the worst day trader of all time, definitely top 3. And so, it's just easier to not have that pressure, you know. And again, I'd rather tell people I suck. And then if I outperform that expectation, great. If not, it doesn't matter. Like, I think that's a hard standard. Telling people you're the greatest day trader and selling a course and selling a service on how good you are, I think it makes people embellish and exaggerate their wins or losses. And I would rather just be honest and tell people I suck. And then if I do good, great. If not, who cares? So... I don't know. I think Nvidia is interesting. I think the DeepSeek news is probably good for the whole like chip market. I think over the long run, it'll make chips more needed, not less needed, believe it or not, because it's going to create growth in the overall AI sector. I think it's going to grow the AI sector more exponentially now. If things are more efficient in chips, the short-term effect on Nvidia and chip companies might be down, but I think long-term it's going to benefit them, to be honest. All right, we're moving up to the top of the range. Again, I do have a rule I don't trade in pre, so we'll wait. But yeah. All right, Chad. So yeah, we're at the top of this range. I have this support and resistance range drawn on a chart. Part of me wants to short as we get to the top, closer to this, and part of me wants to long as we get to the bottom here. Here's the top. Here's the bottom. I'm just gonna wait. I think that's probably the move. It's just to wait. I'm waiting for a pullback. What's your thoughts on AMD earnings? I'm gonna cover them. I'm not sure what they're gonna show. If we look at AMD's earnings graph, or EPS graph, I should say, you know, their margins have been better, but you know, they've been in a little slump though. So like when we look at AMD's margins here, they're looking a little rough. I mean, they're still green, but like this is the big AI boom that we faced, and like you can kind of see them now. They've kind of slumped some, to be honest. Look, like it's a little weak. Today they're expecting what? Today AMD is expecting $1.09, so they are expecting to push up a little bit. So if they come in as expected, this one's going to be about up here. You know, so we'll see if they hit that or not. But that's a good start. If they do show up there, it should bring their PE ratio down a little bit, which is good. We'll see. We also have Snapchat and Google earnings this afternoon. Both of those are out. Spotify had bad earnings. They missed EPS, beat revenue, and missed guidance, but they're still up a pretty significant amount to almost $600 a share. I think PayPal beat everything. Or no, let me see. PayPal. Yeah, PayPal posted 119 versus 112 EPS. There's the numbers in chat. Revenue of 8.37 versus 8.26. But PayPal is actually down significantly. I'm not sure why. So look, here's PayPal on the top chart. Yeah, they're gapping down a big amount. I'm not sure why. Probably just extension, I guess. Yeah, they're this evening. All right. Sorry, I know I'm messing with the green screen. I think this green screen was a little bit better. There we go. The color. You can change the color of your green screen. This color is better match. Jolt's not big enough to affect the market. Yeah, it is. I mean, we don't know how much it's going to affect the market, but Jolt's is a pretty big report that moves markets. You know. All right, so German Chancellor Scholz on U.S. says, quote, we want to protect the EU's steel production and have proposed a European Steel Summit. Fox Corporation's adjusted EPS of 96 cents beat 67 estimates, revenue of $5.08 billion versus $4.85 billion expected. Baker Hughes recorded restructuring and associated impairment charges of about $260 million in 2024 related to streamlining business models and layoffs. Ferrari says order book covering entire 2026 is fueled by orders of 12-cylinder family cars. Interesting. 12-cylinder. What kind of shape do they have? Is it a V12? Is that what they have now, V12? I'm assuming an inline 12 is going to be a little bit too wide to fit. It's got to be a V if it's 12 cylinders, right? Ferrari 12 cylinder. Oh no, this is actually a different car. It's called the Cylindri. It's actually not a 12 cylinder. Oh, it has 12. So that's actually correct. Okay, yeah, it's a V12. Okay, that's what I mean. Yeah, so to put it into perspective, right? Cars have cylinders. A V12, a V8, a V6 just means the cylinders are in this shape. You know? So this would be like a V6 because it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like a V, you know? And then you got like the crank shaft down here and doing stuff. You got rods, you know, all that stuff. So, but at a certain point, like you have like straight or inline, which would be too wide, you know, like you're not gonna fit it if it's that way, so it's got to be a V. Interesting, man. I wonder what we're gonna have in 20 years. Are we gonna have 18-cylinder engines, bro? Well, the real argument is whether we're gonna have cylinders at all at that point, and whether we're gonna be pure electric. Look at Tesla pop up. Tesla at 386. Yeah, 12-cylinder family cars. That's what I'm saying. Honestly, earnings have been weird. We've had companies that post terrible earnings and rip up from it. Spotify, cough, cough, cough. I'm talking about you. Then we have companies that post like great earnings and then dump down. Microsoft, I'm talking about you. Microsoft had good earnings, good guidance, dropped a bunch. So earnings this season are weird. They're not really correlating. Yeah, it's a lot different than what I drew. I'm just trying to give an explanation of it. It would be more like crankshaft, pistons are coming out this thing, here. And then it would be, but I can't draw it behind me. You know, I can't draw it here. And then you'd have like rods, you'd have valves up here, you know. You'd have the drivetrain. PayPal. I was always a tuner nerd. So like I liked JDM, Japanese VTEC cars. I had a Prelude that I used to like soup up. You know, you could kind of see how far, like when I was a teenager, a fast stock car was like 14 seconds, 13 seconds. Like the WRX STI, it was like the fastest at the time, and it ran like a 13 second, like 12 and a half, 13 second quarter mile stock, and that was like, ooh, crazy fast, bro. Like you rode one of those things, like, you know, I always wanted one because it was the fastest stock car at like 12 or 13 seconds, which was crazy fast at the time. If you fast forward 20 years to today, now a Tesla Plaid runs 9 seconds, basically, quarter mile stock, which is obscenely fast. That's crazy, crazy fast. That's like drag racing fast. And so they've just changed so much, man. Technology has changed so much. All right, guys, so we're back up to the top of the range here. And a Motec system exhaust, guys. That's all I'm saying. You know, Motec system exhaust. About Spotify, you know what is supply and demand and don't understand why it went up. Market's making short billions. Yeah, I mean, maybe. That might be true, G-Man. It's all speculation, though. Again, I don't know. I'm not really interested in Spotify too much, to be honest. I don't know why I don't like Spotify. It like, looking at the technology, it looks like it might be like a really good long-term investment. But I don't know, man. For whatever reason, I just don't like Spotify. You know, Spotify's not bad, but I haven't followed it like that. You know. Yeah, Hector, Spoon Engines, Motec System Exhaust. Gold is, I'm sure gold's running right now on the tariff news. It's not really a shock here. All right, we're up to 2850s here, chat. 2850s. Hey, what's up, Frost? Thoughts on Chevron? That's oil. Pinned to the price of oil. Didn't they have earnings last week? Market looked like it didn't like their earnings last week, huh? Yeah. Yeah, that's my issue. Same thing with Shopify, right? Shopify is good for drop shippers, but over time, drop shippers is going to become too competitive, and maybe that's good for the company, really. But I don't know. I just don't like either one of those. Shop and Spot, I've never really been a big believer in buying them. All right, well, look, we're at the top of the range, guys. Look, so this is the range I have on the chart right now. I'm not really playing it yet. We're just kind of watching it, but yeah. S&P up or down pre-market mate? Up. I'm pretty sure. Let me see. I'm pretty sure the SPY is up in pre-market, but it's rebounding from dropping big late last night. So late last night, you can kind of see the NASDAQ, everything dropped big, and then we're kind of like rebounding back. So we're kind of flat over the last, I would say, like 10 hours. We're flat. We dropped big on the China tariff news, and we've kind of climbed back all morning, and now we're basically right where we were prior to it. We're kind of flat over the last 10 hours, but we're up in pre-market technically because we're rebounding from the big drops that we made. Yeah, I'm seeing gold up to 2860s, right at lifetime highs here, chat. Right at lifetime highs for gold. 2860s. 2861s. Yeah, new lifetime high is actually at 28.72. We hit that yesterday. So gold actually still has about $10 or more to go before it breaks all-time highs, to be honest. It's not a random drop, Slee. It's from China announcing retaliatory tariffs on the U.S. goods of 15% on oil and some other stuff. So it's retaliatory tariffs. What's the spread on your trains at pre? Do they improve at the opening bell? Yeah. Mostly. There's more liquidity at the opening bell. That's why it's so volatile. The less liquidity, the higher the spread, usually. Alright guys, and if you haven't already checked out Topstep, check out Topstep's funded account program. They give you a demo, and they test your skill with the demo account first. You pass the test, they fund you. You fail, you only lose what you pay for it. Listen. Do not fund your own account in the beginning. Almost all day, thousands of dollars at least. Almost all day traders lose. If you deposit 5, 10, 20, 30 grand, you're probably going to lose it. I know you think you're going to take it and you're going to get rich quick and you're going to be some type of guru savant. And people are going to be like, dang, look at Steve. He's the greatest trader ever. I'm here to tell you that's probably not going to happen. Instead, you're probably going to lose 70, 80, 90, 100% of that account if you risk it trying to learn to day trade. Instead, funded account programs are a perfect middle ground. They give you a demo. Base one's $50K demo. It's $49 a month. If you can make $3K without losing $2K, following their rules, reasonable 2-to-3 ratio, they fund you $50K with a 90% split. And you get to keep your first $10K in profit as well afterwards. And so it's very similar to funding your own account. But if you fail it, you're out $50 basically. It's not the end of the world. It's the best of both worlds. Most day traders lose. 90% plus of day traders lose. And I don't think that's different here. I think most day traders lose regardless of where they go. Frankly, it's a lot cheaper to lose on Topstep. If you pass it, you get a lot of the similar rewards that you get funding your own account, but your risk is noticeably less. And the other big edge is that there's zero commission on Topstep X. And so if you use Topstep X, I can make $12, $15, $8 and still net profit in these trades. And so if you sign up, use Topstep X through my link, and you'll get zero commission. And it's just a great way to learn. They've paid out almost $200 million in the last 4 years. In the futures market, it's very similar to day trading stocks. You can day trade the S&P, the NASDAQ, basically the SPY and Q price action, gold, some currencies, very similar to day trading stocks. The big difference is no PDT rule and more liquidity in a lot of areas. But they're an affiliate of mine. I am biased because they pay me money. You want to confirm all of this with them. I am not an investment professional. You want to confirm all this. I can't guarantee anything. Understand CFDC 4.41 hypothetical or simulated performance have limitations. And again, guys, understand most day traders lose. It doesn't matter where they go. Most day traders are about to lose. And so you got to understand that. This is kind of like a souped up demo account. It comes with real-time data. And so it's the value's there. But most day traders lose, and so you got to understand that about trading in general, guys. I'll put the link up in chat if you want to help support the channel. They are an affiliate of mine. They pay me money. I am biased because of it for sure. Here's the link. First plug of the day. Yeah. I don't really plug that much, bro. Like, people are sometimes desperate to criticize. And so they're like, ugh, plug. But it's like, dude, like, I've been streaming for like, what, an hour and a half at this point? Almost an hour and a half. First plug of the day. You're welcome. Yeah, that's what we're here for. And Topstep's genuinely good for traders, to be honest. I think day traders lose and they just want to blame somebody. But again, anybody that's telling you the truth is going to understand it's going to be a lot better to start. It's kind of a middle ground of pressure. Why it's got to be Steve? That was the most generic name I could think of, sir. You know, my name's John. I should have used John. Yeah, I've used the bracket stop loss feature. Yeah, Palantir, crazy move, to be honest, man. Earnings. I'm Steve. My name is Jeff. Yeah, I know, guys, I know. My son's jumping on the trampoline, bro. Honestly, one of the best investments we could ever make for a kid with ADHD is a trampoline. Like, we got him a little mini trampoline that sits in front of the TV. So even when he watches TV, he's like jumping and hanging out and playing. He's spending his energy on something, and so that's good. It's a good plug, to be honest. Honestly, it's useful. It's genuinely useful. All right, guys, look, we drew these levels on Topstep X. This is Topstep X's platform. We got a video that we did on how we do this. But again, you can kind of see we get to the top of the range, close to my resistance level, we come right back down. And so again, we see the range, we've identified it, we're just kind of waiting. And again, we do have a video on how we document these levels. If you want to check out that video, I'll post it in chat right now. Here is that video link right here. Check it out. We also detailed the strategies we use. Here it is. Check it out. Yeah, the data doesn't come out right now. The data comes out at 10 a.m., guys. Yeah, so it's a 10 a.m. data release. Yeah, we don't have anything coming out just now. It's 10 a.m., guys. As it says right here in big yellow letters. Losing is part of the job, 100%. Yeah, I don't know whether I think Palantir is going to drop this morning at the opening bell. I think it's extended enough on the upside to maybe. Look at gold. So gold lifetime highs now, guys, are right around here. So gold lifetime highs are right about there. Chat, right about there. So this is gold lifetime highs, right about there. And it's getting close, too. Look at gold. Again, y'all join our Discord as well. Our Discord completely free, doesn't cost anything. If you want to hang out with me, reach out to me ever on this Discord. Remember, I'm never going to message you randomly asking you to join anything. So if somebody does that, let me know. Here's the link. Jolts drops at 10 a.m., guys. Here's the Discord link if you want to check it out. A sensory swing. That's interesting. Yeah, because, like, I'm that way, too. And I always try to tell my son this. Like, look, like, you can use ADHD as a, you know, as something that is a detriment to your life, or you can use it as a superpower. You got to pick which one, you know. Yeah, your younger years are a little bit more socially difficult. Like, I have a hard time, like, sitting down and, like, focusing on something I'm not interested in, and my son's the same way. Like, I've been trying to teach my son jiu-jitsu, and, like, super difficult, because he's just not into it. And I don't know whether to force him to be into it so he has a skill he'll have or what, but yeah. 10 a.m. Eastern time. Yep. There's gold still creeping. Isn't quite there yet. There's the NASDAQ. Palantir. Again, one of the crazier stories of the day. Still breaking highs. Look at this. It's at 104s right now. Look at that. Crazy. Here's gold. At the 2860s. Yeah, gold's ripping up. Probably as a hedge against economic weakness, man. Yeah, I'll tell you guys this. ChatGPT 4.0 is so much faster than any of the other ones. Like, it produces things so much faster. So, again, gold is up for a number of different reasons. Let's talk about it. The U.S. imposed 10% tariff on Chinese goods, leading to retaliatory measures from China, including tariffs and export control affecting U.S. oil, agriculture, coal, LNG, and critical materials for high tech. These actions have heightened market volatility and increased demand for safe haven assets like gold. Inflation concerns are here as well. The market perceives tariffs as inflationary, prompting investors to seek assets that traditionally hedge against inflation, like gold. Safe haven demand amid economic uncertainty. With ongoing geopolitical tensions and concerns over global economic growth, it's led investors to flock towards gold, which is considered a reliable store of value during uncertain times. This increased demand has pushed it higher, of course. Global bullion banks are transporting gold from Asian trading hubs to the U.S. to capitalize on higher premiums in the U.S. gold futures market. It's unusual and indicates strong demand in gold, further strengthening prices. So that's where we're at now. That's why gold's popping, like we said. Mostly tariff news is what it is, causing, you know, a lot of different effects, but yeah. We had to mix in kickboxing with jiu-jitsu for my daughter to show interest in more of an MMA approach. Yeah, he's done Muay Thai a couple times, but it's been a year or two since he tried. I'm more of a jiu-jitsu guy, but like I've trained a little bit of striking as well. Yeah. All right, so now we're right kind of middle range here. Chad, we're kind of middle range. See if we hold. Have we bounced here enough to make this a level? Like I'm going to make it a smaller level, though, like a ray. I think we have probably right around here. Yeah. All right, guys, still watching. Polls were wrong yesterday. Well, yeah, the polls aren't meant to be right. Like, it's not like we're using the polls as some type of signal, you know. Yeah, wrestling's good. I mean, again, I'm a jiu-jitsu guy, so like I train. But my son trains too, so and he's trained for a while, and he's pretty good. My son's problem is that this is the big problem. He only wants to spar. He only wants to roll. It's very difficult to make him stop and listen to teaching. He only wants to roll. And he's good at it, you know. But he never wants to sit. It's too dull. He wants the most exciting thing, which is sparring. And I'm kind of the same way. I love rolling, right? Like my favorite part of class every day is rolling, of course. Like, but you got to learn to. What would Michael Burry do? Michael Burry would probably tell people the world's about to end, and then the market rips up 15%, and he says he was wrong, and he deactivates Twitter is what Michael Burry would do. In fact, I would just say Michael Burry would just deactivate his Twitter account after being wrong, after telling people the market was going to crash, preceding a 30% run, you know. That's what Michael Burry would do. Yeah. Sparring is the only way to learn how to fight. Well, yeah, but jiu-jitsu that's what it is, right? That's why I like jiu-jitsu, is because like you can learn karate, you can learn boxing, you can learn Muay Thai. All good, all useful, to be honest. Muay Thai and boxing are more useful than karate, but I digress. Back to the point. You can learn all those different things. In jiu-jitsu, you fully spar with somebody every single time you go there, for the most part. Right? Like in jiu-jitsu, you full spar with somebody every time you're there, you know? And so in terms of like resistance testing, you're doing it 100% every time you're there. Maybe not 100%, but you're getting full sparring experience every single time you're there. And so when you train jiu-jitsu, you know jiu-jitsu. Yeah. Yeah, I'm usually online every day in the morning. We stream every day live right here. All right, guys. Look at gold. Still pumping up. Getting very close to all-time highs here. This light green line is all-time highs on gold. We're getting close. Chat, we're getting close. You mentioned sitting on the sidelines waiting for a correction, yet you don't think we are going down, though? I mean, it's not that I don't think we're going down, it's that I don't know. And I'm light on my portfolio, which should mean something, right? Like, I'm not interested in buying up stuff. I think we're too extended on the upside for me to be interested in buying up stuff for my long-term portfolio. But that doesn't necessarily mean I think we're going down. I think we need to come down some. I think we need to come back down to earth a little bit. I think the NASDAQ is up 100+%, or at least it was, over a 2-year period, and that's kind of way too high. When the NASDAQ averages 8 to 10% a year, and it's up averaging 50% in the last year or two per year, that's kind of like, we need to come back down to earth a little bit. And when we do, I'll be really interested in buying up stuff and dollar cost averaging into all of it, but it doesn't necessarily mean it has to happen. You know, the thing about markets is that long term is the biggest edge on the upside. Upside is the biggest statistical edge the market ever gives you. And so, you know, it's not something that I'm ever trying to short tops. I'm just lightening my positions when I think we're extended, you know. Yeah, jiu-jitsu training's tough for sure. Yeah, the Discord's free. It doesn't cost anything. Super Micro Semiconductors. Where's that at right now? Down to 27s. You know, I think Super Micro, it's actually good for Super Micro to like consolidate between like around $30. I think it needs to stay there though. You know, the problem with Super Micro is it has such big swings, big swing up, big swing down, big swing up, right? Like, I think if it wants to give itself a seat at the big boy table in terms of blue chip stocks, it needs to hold its gains and stop going down so much, you know. Easier said than done, but yeah. Yeah, gold ripping up. And again, I might have been wrong on gold. People keep asking me to buy gold. I always tell them I'm not interested in buying it. And the reason I'm not really interested in buying it is because gold can downtrend for a long time. And I don't really want to get stuck in a 10-year downtrend for gold because it's been uptrending for a decade now or more. But very similar to my thesis on markets, like it might not care about any of that, and it might just keep on running up. I don't know. I'm not going to short it for sure. Hey, thank you, Matt. Appreciate it, bro. Yeah. I think. Waiting on DeepSeek? Yeah, we'll see what DeepSeek does. I'm not sure. Alright, so now we're coming back down a little bit here. We got the 200 exponential right there at 430s, 429s. Today is going to dump hard to correct this market for another leg down. Maybe. I don't think those things are very predictable. Yeah, that's interesting, radical. Meta keeps heading up regardless of the rest of the market. Yeah, Meta's been flying up too. Palantir too, man. Palantir's been on a run. So again, look at the 200 exponential. I always talk about this level, and this is why. Like, look at this. Literally exactly at the 200 exponential. Like, look, literally exactly off of it. If you're not watching the 200 EMA, you're missing out on a monstrously important level on a short-term price action and trading. Who bought Meta when it was under 100? I should have. I was honestly kind of bearish on Meta when it was at under 100. The logic at the time was like, this was before AI really took off, right? Like, to understand the context of it and why I didn't like Meta under 100 a few years ago. Facebook was losing steam. TikTok was growing. AI hadn't really become a big thing yet, and the metaverse was cooling down after a lot of hype, and Zuckerberg lost 10 billion in the metaverse, and so all of those things considered made me a little bearish for a short period of time on Meta. It wasn't that I never shorted it. Again, I'm not really interested in shorting companies like that, but I certainly didn't want to buy it. And then the AI boom happened, and then Meta started like getting into their llama model, the AI model, and they started to grow huge from that, of course, and now they're up ridiculously. Like, they're up like what, like 600% now from that level. So they've gone crazy since then, which is, you know, yeah. And it's interesting, you see a lot of tech companies like now support the current administration when some of them hated it like 3 years ago, 4 years ago. And so it really goes to show that tech companies leapfrog from whichever side has the most power. All right, guys, we got about 45 minutes until the market opens. Look at that bounce right at the 200 EMA. Huh. Do y'all think Meta's overvalued? All right, chat. All right, we're pulling back down to the 200 exponential as well. Gold's consolidating some here. Nvidia has the best PE right now. Are you trolling me? The best PE, bro? No, it does not. Nvidia's got terrible PE ratio. I think it's like 60. It's not that bad, but it's certainly not good or the best. Yeah, Meta's PE is what, like 30, right? It's not bad. Apple's isn't too bad either, though. Let's look it up. All right, Meta's is 26 or 29. Nvidia's PE ratio is 45. Actually, that's not that bad. And Nvidia has earnings this month too, which will be an interesting thing. Apple's PE ratio is 36. So Apple's somewhere in the middle. You might be right about Meta. Netflix PE ratio. So we got all those three. So we're breaking down a little bit now. Let's watch the support level down here, chat. So we have this big support level down here. So Netflix has a PE ratio of 50. What about Tesla? So Netflix is a little high too. I think Netflix is going to split sometime this year. I've said that over and over again. I think it's true. It's either going to split or correct. Live sports has me optimistic about Netflix though. And I think that's what a lot of analysts are looking at with Netflix is live sports. I can look up Palantir's PE ratio, but it might not take the context of the most recent price. Tesla's PE ratio, 112. All right, so its price is now 103.2. And its latest, what was Palantir's latest EPS? So, because the latest EPS is going to influence Palantir's PE ratio. All right, so Palantir posted 14-cent PE. I think it's going to have a super high PE ratio, to be honest, though. Let me see. Yeah, so Palantir only recently started showing profits. Its PE ratio should be better, but it's gonna be high now, I think. Let's see. At $103 a share, 14 cents. Yeah, so Palantir's PE ratio is about 730. It's not low. Yeah, Nvidia earnings this towards the end of this month. It's gonna be big. Yeah, I think there's probably a lot of people that have FOMO on chips. They're also the same ones that are really pushing a market crash, like it has to happen when it doesn't. Like, I'm not mad at somebody that thinks the market's gonna crash. I look at somebody who thinks the market has to crash as inexperienced, or they're just super FOMO driven, right? Like, it's fine to think the market could crash, or to think the market's too extended on the upside, but to think the market has to correct shows a lack of understanding about history in markets, because markets can keep freaking running. And that's what I try to tell people that think the market has to crash short term. Like, nobody freaking knows when, if the market's going to crash. Least of all retail traders. So there's a bunch of NFT scammers that were apparently arrested. How did they get arrested, guys? We got William Tackett critiquing Mark's jiu-jitsu. Again, I critique Mark's jiu-jitsu a little bit, and I'm just a white belt. I'm not even trying to act like I'm like a great person or anything like that, but like Mark Z's jiu-jitsu, when I watched him, was a little bit a little too robotic, I think. And I get it, right? Like, if you're Mark, you're not going to be able to hard spar with people. Like, dude, if I go to jiu-jitsu, I'm going to be rolling with people. They're not going to take it easy on me at all. Like, especially once I'm a blue belt, like, I'm going to get just beat up by the higher belts. And I think there's a difference between that and Mark Zuckerberg having, like, there's a difference between that and Mark, obviously. With Mark, they're going to be a little bit easier. They don't want to poke the billionaire in that way, you know. And so I think it's, you know, he's going to be a little bit, I don't know. I think they're going to be quicker to upgrade him and rank him up. And they're also going to be a little bit easier on him, too. But I respect the fact that he's learning as well. And maybe he could beat me up. I don't freaking know, man. Yeah, I didn't even know NFT scams were still going around anymore. How do you fall for an NFT scam? Hey, guys. Where you going, bro? I don't want just a fist bump, dude. I love you, buddy. Have a good day, man. Have a great day at school, dude. Love you guys. All right, guys. Sorry, I had to say goodbye to my son. He's leaving. Yeah, well, they've actually gotten a lot better at it, Tony. About like the bots used to be kind of like, the bots used to be kind of like, they were just really obvious. Like you would be able to spot them because like the bots would be like, hey, you know, we have the bots would be like, I struggled to make money until I met trading, you know, genius Steve. Sorry, Steve. Until I met trading genius Steve. Steve helped me earn $7,326.73.5 yesterday. You know, kindly message him here. Cough, cough, WhatsApp. Cough, cough, cough. And then the problem is that then you get about 20 other comments, like 10 seconds later. Like, being like, oh, you know Steve? I know Steve too. He helped me earn X amount too. He's the greatest. And then they're like, dang, you know Steve as well? Steve saved my dog from a storm. You know? And then somebody's like, oh, Steve, the greatest. You know? He saved my grandmother. You know what I mean? Like, and they happen within 20 seconds, 30 seconds. And so the likelihood that somebody's going to comment and then 20 seconds later after their comment, somebody's going to see their comment and 50 other people are going to respond shows you it's a scam. Like, that's how it happened. You know, and you see it all over the videos. Honestly, they've gotten a lot better at it, though. Like, YouTube's gotten a lot better. I just disable comments on my videos now, or on my live streams. Because I used to get them night and day constantly. And so I just disabled comments. Look, there's Steve right there. And again, these are scams. Yeah, they'll fake the channel name too. You see that a lot as well. You going Steve about to drop. Hey, look at the bottom. So look, we're at the bottom of the range now. We hit the bottom. We're starting to bounce. Look at this. Here's the 200 exponential right here, though. Technicals, man. That's why people are like, oh, technicals don't work. It's like, okay, well then, how am I able to see this right here? You know. So we're over the 200 exponential. Like, the likelihood that I'd be able to draw a line and have us move exactly down to that line and then bounce right off of it without technicals being true, super low chance. It would be like 1 in like 1,000 maybe. Yeah. They're bot viewers, Jabe. They're bot viewers is what it is. So they send them bots. Yeah, Oreo, come on now, bro. You can't say stuff like that on the stream, dude. Come on now. Yeah, the bot viewers come in. So like, if you've ever seen, like, they usually do it with public figures, right? And they'll take like some big public figure, famous person like Kathy Wood or somebody, and they'll create a YouTube channel and they'll send it a bunch of bot viewers, and then they'll splice up some old Kathy Wood videos and they'll act like she's doing a live interview right now. And they will send it like 5,000 bot viewers. So you think like, man, this Kathy Wood speaking live right now. And then somewhere along the lines, they'll be like, oh, they'll either fish for your data. They'll send you some sketchy link that'll steal your information. They'll try to get you to send them crypto and promise some crypto giveaway. Like they're going to 2x or whatever it is. And for the untrained eye, you know, they're looking at it. The channel says Kathy Wood. It's got thousands of viewers and she's on screen talking right now. And so in a lot of like, I'm not going to say naive, but a lot of like untrained people that don't recognize these scams, they're going to believe it, you know, and they're thinking, oh, I got free crypto. Let me send them my crypto. Even if 1 out of 100, 1 out of 200 fall for it, that's still enough for them. And that's how the scammers survive, man. It's unfortunate. I try to tell people this regularly. Like, you might hear me repeat this, but this is important information for people to learn. Like, you got to know what it is, and this is what it is. And so, and the places where you really need to be aware of it are big events. Like if Tesla has some big Cybertruck event or something like that, that's when you're going to see so many fake Teslas sprouting up doing exactly that. You know, they're going to send it a bunch. Like that's how it goes. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Oh, floating hedge on? Yeah, I could do floating hedge on. I just have to go grab the shirt. Yeah, I don't trust anybody either. All right, guys. Today we got Google earnings. Tomorrow I think we have Apple earnings. Let me see what we got tomorrow. Yeah, today we got Google earnings, AMD earnings. Tomorrow we got Uber, Disney, Novo, Toyota. Tomorrow evening, I think actually it's kind of light tomorrow. Tomorrow evening we have ARM, which, you know, Thursday is when we have Amazon. Or no, Thursday we have Apple, right? No, Thursday we have Amazon. Did we already have Apple? Yeah, I think we did. We already had Apple. Yeah. All right, guys. Hey, listen. We got yeah, we got the big JOLTS job report. Yeah, we got the JOLTS report. It's a big report, chat. All right, chat. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, so JOLTS job openings is live today. Be ready. NQ. All right, guys, we got 4 minutes left. 4 minutes. I'll be right back, guys. I'll be right back. We got the SPY moving up. Stuff's bouncing right at that bottom support level, so stick around. I'll be right back, guys. All right, guys. All of y'all are ungrateful, okay? I leave for what, like a minute and a half? How dare you, okay? Steve. I should have never started this Steve here, man. Now, again, market's bouncing back up. We'll see if it holds. Gold's moving back up a little bit as well. Palantir is one of the biggest stories. We got to watch NVIDIA today, too. NVIDIA's been weak. It's down to 115s right now. Thoughts on Nike? Down like 50-something% from highs. Yeah. Even the sneaker market has kind of cooled off, though. I think it's probably a little cheap, Nike, down here. But I don't know. Don't copy me. I have no freaking idea what I'm talking about. All right, guys. We got the JOLTS job report in about 50 minutes. 50 minutes. Whew. All right. All right, chat. Bro, the amount of Microsoft charges I get regularly, I feel like my son's got to be charging some stuff. He's got to be, right? Yeah. Yeah, so global bullion banks for gold are flying gold into the U.S. from trading hubs catering to Asian consumers, including Dubai and Hong Kong, to capitalize on the unusual high premiums that gold futures in the U.S. are enjoying over spot prices. Traditionally, bullion banks transport gold eastward from the West to meet demand for overseas markets, but the world's two consumers are switching sides now, with people importing gold here to take advantage of the high premiums. There's something going on right now because of all the tariff fears. He's building a cloud-based AI supercomputer network. Yeah, dude, my son's been buying some stuff. There seems to be a correlation between the price of gold. Yeah, there always is. I mean, it's an inflationary hedge. It's a hedge against economic weakening. Risk get to it can crash the same. Is it JOLTS in 15 or 45 minutes? JOLTS is in 45 minutes Eastern Standard Time. Dude, I don't disagree with you intentionally. Honestly, though, I think sometimes this is the dynamic I think I have in chat. Okay, I think sometimes people want to be seen and heard in chat. because we got some people here. You know, we got 750 people here. Big streams, we got thousands, right? So I think people want to be seen and heard in the chat. And so sometimes they will give me arguments that are a little bit outside of normal arguments, right? And so then when I'm like, hey, I disagree with said argument, then they think I'm always disagreeing with them when I'm not, right? Like, I think you're you know, yesterday, Radical, you saying that tariffs were not the cause of the downward pressure and that it was more so rooting from the yen carry announcement from the Japanese rate decision the previous week. I think that's I think a large majority of people are going to disagree with that, right? It doesn't mean I always disagree with you, and I think that's a silly thing. I think it's a silly thing. Basically, I disagree with you saying I always disagree with you. That's all I'm saying, you know. And again, just to bring my point in, I think most people are going to disagree with the yen carry argument. But maybe, like I said, maybe you're right, dude. It's all good. Burgers aren't sandwiches. Oof. They're definitely a type of sandwich. You know, when you look in a menu and you want to find where burgers are, they're going to be in sandwiches most of the time. But no, it's all good. And as long as we can disagree respectfully, it's all good. It gives me something to talk about. Nvidia falling down, tapping lows here, Chad. Look at Nvidia. Gold's pushing towards highs simultaneously. There's Nvidia at 116s. Yeah, it was definitely tariffs. That's what I think too. But again, it's all good. Like, people can believe what they want to believe. But my overarching point is I think most people are going to disagree with that. Yeah, there's this video of the guy from Spider-Man saying hamburgers come from Hamburg, they're German, French fries come from France. And I'm here to say, like, the name originates, but the actual food product, for the most part, was crafted and mastered in the U.S. And so he's actually wrong by that. You know, I think it's cool for other countries to dislike the United States. And I think that's something that you see. But I also think that the U.S. is kind of the standard that the rest of the world follows in a lot of areas in culture and in fashion. And that's something that the rest of the world refuses to admit or look at objectively, I think, as well. But I think it's very clear, you know. But maybe at the same time, maybe I'm biased in the opposite way, you know. Oh, they definitely don't like us. They never did, though, David. They always kind of criticize. Like, listen, I've got family from Ontario. They're good people, but they certainly dislike the U.S. France definitely dislikes the U.S., you know. I'm not insulting the rest of the world. I'm just telling the truth, you know. Maybe I'm wrong. Definitely not fashion. Then why is the rest of the world, including England, dressing in hip-hop culture wear? It's because we influence the rest of the world. The U.S. does, you know. And I'm using we as like the entire United States, but yeah, honestly, that's probably a good thing. You said we don't follow you in processed food and diet. The rest of the world's more healthy than we are in terms of the food they allow. Absolutely true. I wish the U.S. would be more strict because there's just a lot of stuff thrown in U.S. foods, unfortunately, that are just terrible for us. NVIDIA, break it down right now. NVIDIA breaking down. Yeah, look at NVIDIA. It's at 116.30s here. 116.30s. So NVIDIA just went red on the day. So look at this level. Hey, look at this level. We drew this level, guys. Look at this. Y'all will never hear the end of it. We just bounced exactly off of one of John's levels. You're never going to hear the end of it. Did my mic change? Did it? If it did, how? I mean, what is it? What's the difference? Is it worse or better? Yeah, Nvidia, honestly, it's heading there, man. It's at like 116. It's breaking down some more. Mic is fine. The levels video, Eli, just go to the videos. It's the last video I posted. Mic good? Okay. Goes my speakers, all good, man. Mic is good. I'd be out of Nvidia. Yeah, Nvidia, the PE ratio, honestly, like I said, it's not crazy high. The PE ratio for Nvidia isn't super high, but it's high enough and extended enough to be sketchy, I think. Steve selling, yeah, maybe. Nvidia goes to ADS at my house and buy the dip. Yeah, hey, good luck. All right, guys, 10 minutes. 10 minutes. And again, just to clarify, I think the U.S. can be toxic in a lot of ways. It's not like I'm attacking the rest of the world. But just the things I say are things that like are obviously true in a lot of ways. Maybe in some ways they're not. But yeah. I just dropped a like for one of the top 3 beginner traders on YouTube right now. Hey, I'm not even going to say thank you because then you're probably going to hit me with you're going to say somebody else. Steve, you know. But listen, Steve needs your support, guys. You don't think you'll get the growth that you've already seen over the last 10 years in the next 10 years? I don't know. I think we need to correct from the last 2 first. And so it really depends on a lot of different things, and I'm not sure. Yeah, gold. We put up gold. Yeah, gold's close to all-time highs for sure. Yeah, we'll see if the earnings change Nvidia's PE ratio. They could. They might. Yeah, it's all good, Steve. Again, it's just my own personal opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. And if I'm wrong, the people can always, like, tell me why, you know. But, like, if somebody just gets super mad, I just assume that they don't have an argument back, you know. And it's all good, you know. Obviously, I like debating about different things on this channel. It's kind of normal. And so if somebody disagrees with something, I might talk about it in chat, and that's okay, you know. That's the nature of the world. That's what you got to be able to do healthily. Jimothy, what is the green line you have on gold? It's the all-time highs. Yeah, we started to get into philosophical debates yesterday about simulation theory, you know, how it correlates with religion in a lot of ways. Absolutely does. Got a little too deep though. We had to pivot back. Yeah, Crash Cumming says gold was higher during the dark ages. We are headed there. Look, maybe. We're always headed towards a crash in one way, right? We're always inevitably going to crash eventually. Again, I think people missed out on the big AI boom. And it's also an election year. And so when you take those two things and you add them together, where it's an election year, so one side wants to make you think it's the worst it's ever been, and the other side wants to make you think it's the greatest it's ever been. Frankly, you got a lot of people that think it's the worst it's ever been, and it's the end of the world because they're getting influenced by bureaucratic stuff, right? And then when you take that and you add onto it the fact that a lot of people missed out on these massive hundreds of percent runs the stock market has given us over the last 3 years, there's a lot of confirmation bias pushing towards a market crash. Like people that missed out on the big AI boom, they want the market to crash to act like they didn't miss out on much because the market crashed and they avoided it and they want to feel better about it. The other side wants to make you think it's the worst it's ever been for political bias. And so they're going to push that as well. And when you add all of that stuff together, you get it's the end of the world. Oh no, sky is falling, doom and gloom, whatever. And that's kind of why we are where we are now. Yeah, and I'm okay if we pull back or crash 20%. I think that's healthy, to be honest. But I'll put it this way. Like a long time ago, somebody told me, what was it? They might have changed their username at this point in time. But right around here, guys, somebody told me that the SPY was going to drop 80% at 400. 80% at 400. And so they told me the SPY was going to drop 80% at 400. If the SPY is at 400 and it drops 80%, that means the SPY is going to be at $80, right? Fast forward a couple years, now the SPY is at $600. And again, it's kind of a silly thing. It's that, again, I've seen this all before. And so, that's the point I'm trying to make. And maybe we crash, maybe we don't. I don't know. I don't think anybody really knows. I think you got some people that want us to crash because, again, they either missed out on the AI boom or they're biased politically. And so they just kind of end up pushing for it. But I don't freaking know. Market could keep running up. That was Steve. I don't think we need the Fed to start printing money. I think that's going to make the problem worse. And I think the Fed is going to be very, very, very selective over when they're going to start quantitative easing again. I don't think we need it. I think if the big fear is inflation right now, QE is going to make that way worse, way worse. And it's not something, and that's something that the Fed understands. And so it's not something the Fed is going to do unless we really show a need for QE. Like what I mean by that is like unemployment's at 6%. Payroll numbers are low. GDP's trending negatively, right? That's a situation in which we might see quantitative easing show up. But if we're not in a situation like that, I genuinely doubt the Fed is going to do QE. Not unless we drastically need it. Because QE is what got us to 10% inflation following 2020. Was that in the stimulus checks. And so I just don't think the market wants that. Look at this big bounce, though. We're seeing a bounce in Nike. We're seeing a bounce in NVIDIA. We're seeing a bounce in Meta. Something just happened. Snapchat collaborated with NFL to launch the official Netflix Snapchat creator program. Pepsi CEO says they've not seen a big impact from the weight loss drugs. The lines just work. Yeah. Oh yeah, my levels, yeah, they work pretty well. They're not always going to be perfect, but they can work. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's what I told him. I was like, look, the SPY's not going to drop 80%. Like, people are being so misled by this stuff, man. And like, again, it comes from FOMO, like they missed out on a bunch of stuff, so they want the market to correct. Like it comes from a lot of different things, man. I try to discourage that type of mindset, regardless of what happens. Yeah, thank you, Hottie. Appreciate it, man. We got a video, like I said, watch the video we just put out. It details how we do this. All right, guys, here's the opening bell, 1.5 minutes. Yeah, here's the video again. If you want to check out the video, there it is. All right, guys, less than a minute. Less than a minute. I'm gonna put gold up. Gold's trending towards highs, though. Look at this. It's getting there. All right, guys, here we go. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. All right, guys, here we go. Yeah, jolts at 10 a.m. Yep. All right, I'm gonna wait. See if we can find an edge. Let that play out first. So let's see. Yeah, we're gonna let things consolidate. Wait, Nvidia's pushing up though. We gotta watch Palantir, which is dipping down a little bit at the open. Apple pulling back, Microsoft pulling back, Tesla moving up a little bit. Meta dipping down some. Google ripping up though ahead of earnings. Gold getting very close to all-time highs here, Chad. Very close. Market's kind of choppy at the opening bell. I would relax. Market may be sideways leading into this report too because it's such a big report. It's not a huge report. Like it's not as important. Whoa. It's not as important as like CPI or PPI even or like payrolls or anything like that. What is going on? Look at this spike, chat. I don't know what's driving this either. I'm looking at everything. I don't see any. What stock is driving this? Is it AMD is driving this? It looks like chips, maybe. Nvidia. Alright, guys, we're about 3 minutes in. Still gotta waste some time here. Netflix. Yeah, Netflix is up. I'm gonna buy this. We're gonna add maybe one contract to it. It's a small position here. We got enough support here. I'm gonna take half of this off though. I just don't like it. I'd rather wait. Maybe add to a winning position if we get it. We got some support underneath us. That looks okay. Basically flat now. Completely flat on the day. I should have held. We were looking at this support level. We just got a bad fill, to be honest. Nvidia's still rising up though. So again, we're slightly down by honestly like exactly 50 cents. We're gonna have to scale up our size. Nvidia's rising, Netflix is rising, Google's pulling back some, Tesla's pulling back some, AMD's pulling back some, Microsoft's pulling back some. Netflix is going up big. We need a better pullback now. I was gonna buy that just a little late. See if we can get it again. No. This looks like it's going up, but I might be wrong. Don't copy me. Gold's raising higher. Yep, there it goes. Yep. Should have bought this dip to this support level. I told you guys it looked like it was going to go up, but wasn't in front of it quick enough. Jolts comes out at 10 a.m. in 25 minutes. Yep. Again, I called this to a T2, man, and my levels held beautifully. I just didn't take advantage of it like I should have. Look at this resistance level too, man. Oof, I got to keep targeting this. Gonna jump in. We'll get in a couple contracts here, 2, maybe 3. See if we pop back up quick. Alright, I unloaded a piece of this. I don't like the risk, but yeah, we're basically flat now, which is good. Half off. All right, we're slightly green. We're basically flat, almost completely flat on the day. Yeah, we're basically completely flat. We've only lost commissions. My levels in traded have honestly, like, I've called these out to a T, but I just didn't manage it the best. So my fault. Nvidia's still pumping up too, guys. Oil's bouncing back a little bit. Market's honestly pretty flat though. So we're gonna start to take the other side. So we can break down a little bit here. Get a little bit too close to highs for me. See if this is a liquidity grab. Short this, see if it's a liquidity grab again. I'm trading against the momentum, which is something I'm doing wrong. Definitely got caught in that. I only lost like $50 there though, which could have been worse. Let's see if we can regroup and switch. Let me see. Let me see which account I'm trading. Okay, I see which one. All right. I'm gonna switch, I think, here. And again, I gotta trade with the direction. I'm looking at jolts in 20 minutes. A little disappointing because I read the market super well in the opening 20 minutes, 10 minutes. Just yeah. Market's still popping up. Look at see if we can wait. All right, so we got a big dip. Let's see if we retrace back up quickly. Gold is right at lifetime highs, guys. Netflix is still running big, too. What do you think the market wants from jolts? I think we're in a period that the market fears inflation. And I think the market has interpreted the tariffs as inflation fearing. And so I think if we have higher than expected jolts, the market's going to fear inflation. Gold just broke lifetime highs, all-time highs, whatever you want to call it. People get weird. I call it lifetime highs. Gold just broke all-time highs here. New all-time high for gold is 28.7260. We also just went green in the account that we were just trading on. I can show you the trades we got in. So we did just go green on the day. We made 10.70 and then 30. So we made about $110 just now. Slightly green. You can see the green at the top of the chart as well, showing you I'm actually green. Just decided to trade off stream. We'll see if we can regroup though. If we get a pullback to this level at 480, we'll buy it. But we need a dip down there. Yeah, I think the market's going to definitely... I don't know, right? Nothing's definitely, right? Nothing's definitive. I think the market... I think it's plausible the market fears inflation, so a higher job opening report signaling economic growth and potentially more inflation might make the market panic more than normal, is my guess, just because the market sees the tariffs as inflationary. And so a higher than expected jolts reading could show exactly that, which is more inflation to fear. As I was talking about that, we got the dip down to that level we wanted at 480. Ah, man. I wanted it too. Let's see if we get it. Gold's still popping up though. Oh, man. Look at that. We tapped it. It was too quick. I don't know if I would have been able to catch it anyway, but that's what I wanted. Ah, dude, there's that dip buy. I wanted at 480. Didn't quite get it, but it's okay. We'll wait. Now we're hitting too much resistance areas for me up here. It's too tight. Nvidia might make it insignificant though. Nvidia's still pumping up to highs of the day at 119s or 119s. And if Nvidia keeps running, it might drag everything else up too. Netflix popping up, Google ripping up nicely. Yeah, this is all royalty-free music. All right, guys, 15 minutes. I'm going to put a timer up. All right, we'll put the timer up right here, guys, so you guys can kind of see how much time is left. Yeah, see, I thought this was too much resistance. We could buy this level at 5, though. Maybe that's a spot. We'll try it. Oh, wait, we are short? I don't want to be short. Oh, my gosh, dude. How did I short this? I didn't want to be short. Oh, well. Well, I had 2 contracts down here, I guess. We got a bad fill on those 2, but we're up on this. All right, so we made money. Bad fill, mismanaged the trade, but green nonetheless. Accidentally short here. We got the pop-up that we wanted exactly off of the level we wanted. I don't know why I'm mismanaging my trades so much today. Meta's breaking down, by the way, though, guys. Netflix is ripping up there. Netflix over $1,000 a share now. All right, so now we're breaking down here. All right, remember, guys, we got the jolts reported 14 minutes. 14 minutes. Let's see what NVIDIA does here. NVIDIA looks good. All right, so the U.S. Secretary of State will modify or rescind existing sanction waivers and cooperate with the Treasury to implement a campaign aimed at driving oil exports to zero in Iran, according to U.S. officials. All right, we'll buy the dip at 780 again if we get it, but very choppy right now ahead of the jolts reports, guys. I almost want to short this, which is kind of a risky position here. We're going to jump in short. I'm looking for 480 as my reward target. 513 is my risk. And I'll add one more contract to this if we can. All right, so there we're in short. Right up to my risk level. We did tap right off of my risk level, though. Could be worse. I tried adding to it, see if that helps, but we got a big candle to retrace back. We confirmed my risk level. We tapped like right off of it, but now we're back to red. It's a small red day though. We're down like $40, $50. We got that price action. I am learning I shouldn't trade against the NASDAQ as much as I do. I should probably go with the trend more. By Tau, indeed. Yeah, Palantir climbing. Jolts down or up. Nobody knows whether Jolts is going to come up, down, sideways. Nobody does. The idea is market reacting. Yeah, that's what it is, Jay. Market's reacting to the Chinese tariffs that we're in. So we're kind of flat on the day now. The news happens in 10 minutes, basically. 10 minutes. Market's flying up, though. I'm trying to see what's moving up now. Oil's ripping up. Apple's breaking highs is what this is. I should have bought that original 480 dip I talked about, but the story of my trading today is I had a good flow of market. You know, I just didn't manage it correctly most of the day. Could have been worse, though, to be honest. We're kind of flat. Could have been big red. No, I'm not sure, Martin. No idea. Who keeps pushing gold to all-time highs like this? Investors. Gold's going up because people are hedging against the panic that we have induced from the tariffs, the retaliatory tariffs. So they retaliated with tariffs. China, Mexico, Canada. That is making markets... that's making gold go up in response to it. So yeah, that's what it is. That's all it is. Bro, I can't trade it all today for some reason. Well, somehow we made money in this situation. Somehow we made money just now. I don't know how, but we did. Apple is what it is. Apple's ripping up. I think I'm trying to trade chop ahead of Jolts too. Every day is not going to be a good day. I'm all right with it. We made money yesterday. Hundreds of dollars. Today we're down like 40. Yeah, I don't know why I can't make money today. Today's just weird. There's a lot of reasons gold's pushing up, but the root cause is the retaliatory tariffs and the original tariffs that were implemented in the first place. That's all it is. All right, guys, we got 7 minutes left. 7 minutes left. Y'all be ready. And again, if you want to limit your risk like I do when trading, check out Topstep. Topstep gives you a demo. They test your skill with a demo account first. This is what I'm trading on today. You can see how similar this is to day trading stocks. There's no PDT in futures. I can basically day trade the SPY-Q Dow price action in futures. No PDT rule. I can trade the S&P, which is what the SPY tracks. I can trade the NASDAQ 100, which is what the QQQ tracks. No PDT rule. Very similar to day trading stocks. Topstep limits your risk. They give you a demo. It comes with real-time data. If you're able to make $3K in profit on the demo without losing $2K for the base one, they fund you $50K with a 90% split as long as you follow all their rules and conditions. If you fail, you only lose $50, $49 basically. Again, a great way to learn how to day trade, and on Topstep X, there's zero commission. And so if you pass the test, though, you get a 90% split funded account. You get to keep your first $10K in profit moving forward. And so it's very similar to funding your own account. There's just noticeably less risk. It's the best of both worlds. Less risk, similar reward. And Topstep's the most legit one in the world. They've paid out almost $200 million since 2020. They fund thousands of traders. It's just a great way to learn how to day trade. Most day traders end up funding their own account and losing. And so here, I'll put the link up. There's the link in chat. Remember, they're an affiliate of mine. I am biased because I get paid by them. Top 3 most biased in the world, some would say. No PDT in futures. Understand CFTC 4.41. Hypothetical or simulated performance have limitations. Remember, I am terrible and have no idea what I'm talking about. If you copy me, you might lose. Sometimes I lose off stream. You're not going to see it. Understand all that stuff, guys. Yeah, that might be true, Nat. Definitely top 3 worst ever. Yeah, people, gold's a safe haven, chat, is what it is. Gold's a safe haven. And so that's where people are running to, is a safe haven of gold in economic uncertainty times. This is a pretty consistent long-term look. I'm really an economist. You know, maybe I suck at day trading. I have no qualms about joking around about it because it's absolutely the truth sometimes, especially on days like today. It feels like it. But again, I'm net green in 2 of my funded accounts, so like we're doing all right. Like again, it's just some days are red, and I think a lot of new traders analyze how good or bad you are based off of one day's results, and I think like that's the wrong way. You got to look at, like most day traders, you got to look at a huge sample size to really see anything. I blame marketing, you know. Gold does good. Yeah, that's crazy. 228K. Are we at the top for gold? We're at all-time highs. We tapped them earlier. All right, guys. We got the JOLTS report in about 6 minutes. 6 minutes. Be ready. I just taught myself mostly. Gold teeth? I'd be shining out here, shining. Steve taught me? Yeah, maybe. Hey guys, we got 3.5 minutes. Chat, 3.5 minutes. JOLTS report's big. They're expecting 8 million even. That I'm showing 8 million even. Be ready, guys. Be ready. 8 million is expected. Last time we showed up at 8.1 million. Again, I think the market fears higher inflation, though. I really do. And so I think if we show up higher than expected, the market might panic, come down. I don't know for sure, though. We got to wait and see. All right, guys, 3 minutes. I don't have a prediction. I think market could react negatively if we show higher than expected numbers. JOLTS job opening is not a gauge of unemployment. It's a gauge of companies expanding, right? You can't think of JOLTS as job openings as a weak economic thing, like more jobs equals weakness in the economy. It's the opposite. JOLTS job opening are the opposite of unemployment. Their company growth through hiring. Like, so a company that's growing faster is going to hire more people in terms of job openings, if that makes sense, right? A company that's growing slower is going to be able to open less jobs, right? So this is not people filing for unemployment. This is companies' expansion and growth is what the job opening report signals. So in that regard, higher JOLTS is stronger economics-wise, but also could mean worse inflation, which is, you know, again, you don't ever know how the market's going to react. We got a minute and a half, but that's what it is. Correct, V. It's a monthly report. All right, guys, here we go. We got 1 minute left, 1 minute. Oil's been pumping today, too. Google up high on earnings. Tesla. Yeah, I'm good. It's probably a buzzword. So there's no way I'm saying that. All right, guys, here we go. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Yeah, you need a master's degree in engineering and economics to earn $33,000 a year with benefits, you know, as a cashier at Starbucks. Yeah. All right, guys. Hey, we got 15 seconds. 15 seconds. Hit the live button next to the play button. Here we go. And here's the report right now. Jolt showed up at 7.6 million, weaker than expected. 7.6 million for Jolts versus 8 million expected. Lower than expected. 7.6 million versus 8 million expected, and the market is going up, probably because this means less inflation worries. Look at the Jolts report. Look at this positive reaction. Again, it's exactly as I stated. If higher than expected is going to cause a weak reaction, lower than expected, a positive reaction, because what? It means less inflation problems. So we're kind of in backwards land again, where good is bad and bad is good for economic data. At the same time, though, sometimes the first move is the wrong move, and so you want to be prepared for that as well. It doesn't necessarily mean anything yet. It's a little bit too early, but we are seeing a little bit of confirmation in my stance. We'll see if it holds, though, is the big question. Again, lower than expected Jolts, 7.6 million Jolts, 7.6 million. We also have Bostic and Daly speaking right now, chat. So understand all this stuff. Now I'll put this data up on screen. All right, we got the data on screen now. There it is. All right, let's see if it holds, chat. Yeah, again, we got Fed members speaking right now. A lot of stuff that could influence markets short term. All right, so now we're basically flat break even from this report. Let's see if we bounce off at the flat break even level. Yep. All right, we're moving back up. All right, so far positive reaction from Jolts, guys, being weaker than expected, which means that less hiring is going on, which probably means people have to worry less about inflation considering the nature of the current economy. Again, though, we're still too early to see what the net effect of this is going to be. We're up from it, though. We are green from it so far. Well, there's definitely a reaction. This is the largest candle we've seen all morning, basically, up until about... Yeah, this is the largest candle we've seen in about 30 minutes, so it's definitely got some reaction. So again, Jolts, weaker than expected. Market liked it. Almac, you're probably delayed on the stream. All right, chat. Again, today, remember, we got Apple earnings. Or no, I'm sorry. Today we have Google earnings, AMD earnings after the bell today. So far, positive reactions here, though. NVIDIA's ripping up, too. NVIDIA over 120s now. AMD starting to rip up, too. Look at AMD. It's at 117s. AMD's flying up, too. And again, guys, we've been day trading on Topstep today. Topstep gives you a demo. Test your skill with a demo. If you pass the test, they fund you. If you fail, you only lose what you pay for it. In this case, the base one's $49. If you pass it, you get a $50K funded account in futures with a 90% split. No PDT rule. Zero commission on Topstep X if you sign up through Topstep X. Great way to learn how to day trade where you got limited risk. If you pass it, you get a $50K funded account for the base one with a 90% split. And that's a great way to learn. Most day traders lose. They're an affiliate of mine. I'm biased, of course. And so understand CFTC 4.41. Understand I'm biased in their favor. Hypothetical or simulated performance have limitations. I do trade off stream. I'm not even claiming to be a good trader. Understand all this stuff, guys. And yeah, if you want to check out the link, there's the link in chat. We are popping up from this report. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of as I thought, guys. Like the market is kind of back to backwards inflation fearing land, where strong economic growth signals fear and negative market reactions, and weak economic growth signals optimism because of inflation. Stronger economy means worse inflation. Weaker economy means better prices, basically, from corrections. And that's where we're at now, and that's what the market continues to show us. This has been like this for about 2.5 weeks now. We've seen this type of response to economic reports for the last few weeks, really. And so again, people ask me what kind of reaction I thought we would get from this report prior to this report dropping, and I told them exactly this, which was I think the market is going to fear inflation, and so it's going to be kind of like an inverse reaction. Stronger jolts shows weaker reactions and vice versa, and that's precisely what we got. And so I hope all that makes sense. Yeah, hope that all that stuff makes sense. I'm going to get out of here, guys. Again, we have earnings we're going to stream later on today. Some Fed members are speaking right now. So I'm going to get out of here. I'll be back later on today, guys. Hey, I love you all. Y'all have a great day. Subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Like I said, man, if you want to check out the video on how I draw support and resistance, I've gotten a lot of comments on my levels about how accurate they are. I did a video on how I do this. Here's that video right there if you want to check it out. Great way to help support the channel. And good luck. We'll be back later for Google earnings, AMD earnings later on this afternoon at the closing bell. So I'll see you guys later. Y'all be good. Have a great day.